How to perform a car tune-up. A car tune-up is a comprehensive service that ensures your vehicle runs smoothly and efficiently. It involves inspecting and replacing various components to improve performance and prevent future issues. Here's a step-by-step guide to performing a car tune-up, along with the tools required. Tools and equipment needed: spark plug socket and ratchet, spark plug gap tool, screwdrivers, flathead and Phillips, pliers, wrenches, various sizes, air filter, fuel filter, distributor cap and rotor for older cars, ignition coil if applicable, timing light, battery terminal cleaner, vacuum gauge, multimeter, safety gloves and goggles. Step-by-step tune-up procedure. 1. Preparation. Park the car on a flat surface and let the engine cool down. Disconnect the battery by removing the negative terminal to ensure safety. 2. Replace spark plugs. Locate the spark plugs using your vehicle's manual. Remove the spark plug wires one at a time and use a spark plug socket and ratchet to remove the old spark plugs. Check the gap on the new spark plugs using a spark plug gap tool and adjust if necessary. Install the new spark plugs and reattach the spark plug wires. 3. Inspect and replace air filter. Locate the air filter housing and open it. Remove the old air filter and clean the housing if needed. Place the new air filter in the housing and close it securely. 4. Replace fuel filter. Locate the fuel filter, consult your vehicle's manual. Use wrenches to disconnect the fuel lines from the old filter. Be cautious of fuel spillage. Remove the old filter and install the new one, ensuring the arrows indicating the flow direction are correct. Reconnect the fuel lines securely. 5. Inspect and replace distributor cap and rotor if applicable. For older cars with a distributor, locate the distributor cap. Remove the cap and inspect the rotor and contacts. Replace the rotor and the cap if they show signs of wear or damage. 6. Check ignition system. Inspect the ignition coil and replace it if it's faulty. Refer to the vehicle's manual. Use a timing light to check the ignition timing and adjust if necessary. 7. Battery maintenance. Inspect the battery terminals for corrosion. Clean the terminals using a battery terminal cleaner and reattach them securely. Vacuum and hose inspection. Use a vacuum gauge to check for leaks in the vacuum system. Inspect all hoses for cracks or leaks and replace any damaged hoses. 9. Check belts and hoses. Inspect the condition of the serpentine belt, timing belt, and other accessory belts. Replace any belts that show signs of wear or damage. Inspect coolant hoses and replace if they are cracked or brittle. 10. Fluid levels check. Check and top up all essential fluids including engine oil, transmission fluid, brake fluid, coolant, and power steering fluid. Test drive. Reconnect the battery and start the engine. Listen for any unusual noises and ensure the engine runs smoothly. Take the car for a test drive to ensure everything is functioning correct. Conclusion. Performing a tune-up on your car involves several critical steps and requires specific tools. Regular tune-ups help maintain your vehicle's performance, improve fuel efficiency, and extend the life of the engine. Always refer to your vehicle's manual for specific instructions and follow safety precautions while working on your car. From the description above, now answer the following questions. Questions. 1. Preparation and safety. What is the first step you should take before starting a car tune-up? Why is it important to let the engine cool down before starting the tune-up? Which battery terminal should be disconnected first, and why? 2. Spark plugs. How do you remove the old spark plugs? What tool is used to check the gap on new spark plugs? Why is it important to check and adjust the gap on new spark plugs? 3. Air filter. Where can you find the air filter in most vehicles? What should you do after removing the old air filter and before placing the new one? How does replacing the air filter benefit the engine? 4. Fuel filter. Why should you be cautious when disconnecting the fuel lines from the fuel filter? What indicates the correct flow direction on a new fuel filter? How do you ensure the fuel lines are securely reconnected? 5. Distributor cap and rotor. Which type of vehicles typically have a distributor cap and rotor? What signs indicate that the rotor and cap need to be replaced? What should you inspect on the distributor cap? 6. Ignition system. What tool is used to check the ignition timing? How can you tell if the ignition coil needs to be replaced? 7. Battery maintenance. What is the purpose of cleaning battery terminals during a tune-up? What tool can be used to clean the battery terminals? 8. Vacuum and hose inspection. How do you check for leaks in the vacuum system? What should you look for when inspecting hoses? 9. Belts and hoses. Which belts should you inspect during a tune-up? What are the signs that a belt needs to be replaced? How can you tell if a coolant hose needs to be replaced? Fluid levels check. Which essential fluids should you check and top up during a tune-up? How often should you check the fluid levels in your vehicle? 11. Test drive. What should you listen for when starting the engine after a tune-up? Why is it important to take the car for a test drive after completing the tune-up?